Greetings to all and welcome to naphtalitribe.com and eChurch 24 into 7 Kochi, India. This new video is about the laws of sowing and reaping. We intend to discuss 12 laws in connection with the above mentioned topic. Since we cannot discuss all these 12 laws in one short video, we have split it into two parts. Now you are watching the first part of the video. The second part of the video is also available in our official video channel youtube.com/the Naphtali Tribe. There are certain universal unchanging laws that govern this universe. They are universal and hence do not change from place to place and time to time. They existed right from the beginning of the universe and will exist till the last day of this world. In truth, this universe exists on them, and without them, nothing can exist. A change in a jot or line of these laws affects the whole universe, even to its self-destruction. No one, no wise man or fool can deny their existence and influence over the universe. Whether we like them or not, they are to stay, work, and influence everything. That is the importance of these laws. Before we go into the discussion, let me tell you three things. One, some of the thoughts I express here in this video and some other were discussed early in my another video titled Lessons from a Farmer. The video Lessons from a Farmer is available in my official video channel youtube.com the Naphtali Tribe. I recommend you to watch that video also along with this. Two, I would like to share a truth expressed by the great Bible teacher Maurice Sorella. I have added below my explanation also to his statements. Maurice Sorella said, all truth is parallel. All truths in this world have a parallel truth in the spiritual realm. Everything starts and happens first in the spiritual realm, and then a parallel happening occurs in the physical world. Nothing in this world happens without it originating in the spiritual realm. This world has no existence without the truth in the spiritual realm. The truth is in the spiritual realm, and what we see in this world is only a reflection of it. So the laws of sowing and reaping originated in the spiritual realm and then happened in this world. Since it is a decreed truth in the spiritual realm, it is unchanging in both realms. Man and the world have no option to live without it. And the third point, all these laws work positively as well as negatively. However, the primary motivation and emphasis of all these principles and promises in the Bible is towards good. These laws of sowing and reaping are applicable not only to a farmer but also to every action of man or animal in this world. All our good deeds and evil deeds are governed by these laws because they are universal laws decreed by the Creator of the universe. With these thoughts in mind, let us proceed into the study of laws of sowing and reaping. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 to 10 reveal wonderful revelations that contain almost all laws of sowing and reaping. So keep this passage in mind as we go on discussing this topic. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 to 10. Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption. But he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if you do not lose heart. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith. Law number one, sowing has a purpose to reap. Sowing is not an aimless action of a farmer. It is not an entertainment or a charity work. It is not throwing away of dead seeds to save space. It is a result oriented activity with an aim to reap. In other words, a farmer is no different from a rich investor. Both of them have a purpose to harvest. A rich man invests his wealth to get it back with an attractive profit. A rich man's wealth is the amount that is saved from his previous income. Saving is what he keeps aside for his future. He knows that investing his savings increases his wealth and shall sustain his future life. Seeds are what a farmer harvested the previous season. It is a harvest set apart for future. He knows that sowing is the only way to increase his seed and sustain his life. So he sows with a purpose to reap. If he has no purpose to reap, his act of sowing is meaningless and absurd. A purposeless farmer is a fool. So before you sow, fix the purpose in your mind to reap. Without this law, all other laws of sowing and reaping are meaningless. All our actions should bear a purpose to reap. There cannot be any action without a purpose. There is a purpose and there should be a purpose for all our actions. The purpose can define our actions, good or bad. A good purpose can help us to lead a good and meaningful life. Law 2, there is a time for sowing and reaping. No farmer sows throughout the year in all seasons, and a wise farmer never sows out of season. Seasons are a universal truth. We cannot change or defy it, and hence it is wisdom to live accordingly. Seasons are appointed by God, the creator of the universe. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. So we must be vigilant to sow at the right season. We must be vigilant not to miss the season or an opportunity to sow the seed. If we miss the sowing season, we will fail the harvest season also. Opportunities are the right season for sowing seed. A poor man at our doorstep, in the street, or in our neighborhood is an opportunity. A right season for you to sow your seed. A ministry undertaken by your church, a project announced by your church, or the need of a co-believer or your pastor is a right season to sow your seed. Opportunities are everywhere around us. The season ready for sowing waits at every corner of our life only if we look around. So sow now and never miss a chance. Law number 3, we reap in a different season than we sow. As there is a time for sowing and reaping, we must understand that they are not the same season. We never reap in the sowing season, we reap in a different season. Sowing season and reaping season are different time with a long distance in between. Many things happen in between them. And all happenings and seasons in between sowing and reaping are maturing the fruits. That means there is and there must be a distance between sowing and reaping so that other seasons may work on our seed for a mature harvest. Let us remember that Rome was not built in a day. No athletes are ready for the race within a day. No soldier is equipped for a war within an hour. Wisdom is not gained overnight. No spiritual leader is born overnight. That is a law of life. So patience is one of the secrets of success. If we patiently wait, we shall surely reap. James chapter 5, verse 7. Therefore be patient, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, waiting patiently for it until it receives the early and later rain. Waiting is not failure. Waiting to the season of reaping is the success of the farmer. Waiting is the maturing time. It is the strengthening time. Waiting multiplies the harvest into 100-fold. Law number 4, we are in partnership with God. In sowing or reaping, we are in partnership with God. While we wait after sowing a harvest, the other partner works hard to produce a rich harvest. God is our partner who continues the work as we take rest after the season's labor. Seasons are not in our control, they are neither out of control. The Creator and the Lawgiver has the ultimate control over the seasons. God has decreed seasons and time, and He is active through what He has established. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22. The blessings of the Lord makes one rich, and He adds no sorrow to it. Do not forget our partner. Without Him, we cannot prosper. He is active even while we are sleeping. He gives the color, sweet smell, and the size and the taste to our harvest. He multiplies all our single seeds into 100-fold. Law number 5, no reaping without sowing. Every effect has a cause behind it. Reaping is the effect of sowing that happened before a certain time. There is no harvest without sowing. Sowing causes the harvest, and harvest facilitates sowing. Sowing season calls us to sow the seed. A lazy man will never reap a harvest. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. The lazy man will not plow because of winter. He will beg during harvest and have nothing. Sowing is investing your wealth. Every investment needs a saving, a portion kept aside from today for tomorrow. It is a portion kept aside, not the surplus or leftover. A farmer separates seeds for the next sowing before he enjoys the harvest. He knows that all the harvest is not for spending. The best portion is kept aside for future. Seeds are the best of today's harvest because we want a better harvest in the future. We are sowing not only for us but for a future generation also. Sowing is a lesson to our descendants, food to them, and seed to them to sow again. Law number 6, we reap the same in kind as we sow. Genesis 5:3, and Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness after his image and named him Seth. Laws of sowing or reaping do not violate our freedom of choice. We humans are free to choose good or evil. Our life is filled with choices. Our choices affect us on an everyday basis in everything we do. That means our everyday choices are very significant. Our choices affect us and others in dramatic ways, whether we see it immediately or not. To choose or not to choose is a choice. A failure to make choice is a choice. That means there is nothing like neutral or disinterestedness in life. Neutrality is a choice not to make any choice. Every choice has a consequence of some kind and to some degree. So life is full of consequences, both good and bad. Actually, the most important choice is often the one that seems small and unimportant. But this may either protect us from evil or expose us to dangers. One choice leads to another, then never let us go back and start again. This law is also called the law of consequences. This law tells us that every action of human has a consequence. Harvest is a result of our choice to sow the seed. And whatever we choose to sow will produce the same kind in harvest. And the law of sowing or reaping is that we reap what we sow in kind. Genesis chapter 1 verse 11. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. Every living being in this world reproduces only its own kind. It was decreed so by the creator of the universe. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 and 8. Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. Let me conclude the first part of this video with a recap of what we have been discussing so far. Laws of sowing and reaping. Sowing has a purpose to reap. There is a time for sowing and reaping. We reap in a different season than we sow. We are in partnership with God. No reaping without sowing. We reap the same kind as we sow. The discussion is continued in the second part of this video, available at our official channel youtube.com/the Naphtali Tribe. Meet you again next Sunday. Thank you.